All right, y'all. Welcome to Exhale Pro Stories. I'm your host, Fame Noel. We're going to be introducing ReLeaf Cannabis dispensary owner, one of the owners, actually, Xavier Joyner, who's here with us today. So please welcome Xavier. Thank you for being here with us.
How's everybody doing?
ReLeaf Dispensary is an independently owned and operated minority business in the state of New Jersey, Southern New Jersey to be specific. Shout out to New Jersey. There's a lot of activities, business activities, brands, farms, all types of stuff out in Jersey. Like y'all really are doing your thing. So that's really dope. And then of course, we can't forget your other founding partners. We have Louis. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Figueiredo, and Britney Bailey. So we want to make sure we recognize them as well. Welcome to the show. And we want to learn more about you. We want to learn more about the humans behind the brand. What really started this whole vision for you all. Before our call, I know you were touching on how you can't even believe that this is a thing right now.
That's crazy.
So yeah, let's touch a little bit more on that. Let's get into that feeling.
So it started with Louis and Brittany went to a dispensary in Vermont, like a little micro one. And he was kind of just like, this is cool. This is great. This is cool. And he came home, and Louis and Brittany are both registered nurses. They're both travel nurses. So he came home. He couldn't stop thinking about it. And I believe the way it described it to me was he had a terrible day at work, like awful. We all been there. And I guess he was just like, you know what, we gonna try this dispensary joint because I can't keep doing this the rest of my life. So.
This sounds like the start of a movie, of a cannabis movie. You know what? Everybody was just done. We were like, let's just start a dispensary.
Yeah, I'm still at the post office. I'm done too. So I mean, we got dreams. We got dreams.
So you guys just went. One of you visited a dispensary, came back and was like, "Hey, I can do this." So what was the deciding factor that y'all really took that next step to go file some paperwork to really make this or manifest this into reality?
Going over numbers. We had a meeting in my kitchen about just what things would cost and how realistic it was, and how just how we was gonna lock in for real, and it was just gonna go from them. From the meeting.
We sat down and we planned it out. It really is that simple sometimes. Seriously.
You know what's crazy? I tell people now, and I've just experienced for myself, everything is touchable for real if you just put the work in. You can't, anything's possible for real.
Seriously, and write it down. Once you really start vision to your vision, and that includes literally laying it out, what does this actually look like? That's when it starts to become reality. Because I can tell you myself, I've embedded so many things in my head.
I'm already knowing.
They have not manifested themselves into reality, but that's why I have not put it down on paper. I have not taken the next steps to do it, right? So that is a very important part of envisioning anything. It's not just having a vision, it's really making it real, putting it on paper. So that's super important. So how did you know that? Just let's take it back a little bit. I know that you all knew each other. Some of you knew each other since middle school, and then a few of you met later in high school. We all, of course, want to go and start a business with our middle school, high school buddies, right? How much fun would that be? But in the reality of it all, you all being close, being friends, knowing each other before all of this, do you feel like that helped or hindered the business process? And how did you decide I definitely want to go into business with these guys?
Well, it definitely helped, I would say, only because we're able to say things to each other and know it comes from a place of love. But we're family, but we're still in business, so we have to say things to each other that might be it might hurt their feelings, but this is for the good of the business. And then we all understand it's for the good of the business. There's really no when the team wins, we win. You know what I mean? So
right. And that's awesome to have that vision. And
exactly.
Again, it works for some people. Some people it doesn't work with. I'm in business with one of my friends right now. we'll see what happens, but it looks like you guys are handling that beautifully.
And it's like you do like, if you might hear something like, dang, like that just blew mine, but like then you're like, all right, but they was right.
Right.
It's really about the ability to check yourself for real.
Yes. And to your point, like you can communicate these things in a way that they know that you actually care about them versus not having that initial connection, right? And again, the same thing with me and my business partners. It's like, listen, there's only one way for me to say this, but guess what? We're going to rip that Band-Aid off and we're going to be good from that point forward. You know, there's no hidden punches. There's no hidden, what do you call it? You know, what's the word?
There's no like passive aggression.
Yes, there you go. No passive aggressiveness. We can get it all out on the table, and I think that's the beauty of with friends, with the right friends, right? So let's talk about this friend group. You know, what all skill sets did you all bring to the table on making this dispensary happen and making ReLeaf dispensary happening?
I gotta say, just the ability to learn and the like willingness to fail. Because I mean, I still feel like I don't know anything, but we've done so much. Like I feel it's dumb saying that because we've done a lot, but like I feel like I learn every day. And if you actually listen to Britney, they'll say the same thing. Like we learn every day that we don't know anything.
Right, and that there's more to learn. Right.
Yeah, every day. So if you just keep that attitude, I mean, you can steal advice from places if you just listen. So.
Yes, absolutely. And I really appreciate that attitude because, again, I feel like a lot of people look at you, right? And they see you with the dispensary. They see you with the end result. And in their mind, they're like, whoa, like, I don't even know where to start when it comes to doing something like this. And that alone can scare someone into not starting the process. So it's important to see individuals such as yourself who made it happen to be able to be transparent enough to say, look, I'm literally learning as I go. And it's one of those things where like you cannot succeed if you don't try, right?
Exactly.
So that's just very important to point out. So I appreciate you taking a moment to highlight that as well.
And you gotta not be too hard on yourself because you're gonna mess up a lot.
Exactly. Like we're human. We're going to make mistakes in our personal lives, in our professional lives. What matters is that you have a team there with you, right? That is willing to support you through those mistakes and help you get.
Absolutely.
All right. So you guys sound pretty tight. I mean, I think it's the dream, like to be able to start a cannabis dispensary with your friends. And but I do know, and I am aware from reading V's article in Grow Magazine, that you did have some hurdles and some times that you all thought that you might, want to quit and stop moving forward with trying to get the dispensary up. So can you tell me a little bit about those hurdles that you encountered and, possibly in a way that could help somebody else who may be going through the same hurdles when it comes to legitimizing their cannabis business?
Shoot, literally anything could be a hurdle, but the ones that almost put me down were definitely running out of money. I had like emptied out my I was teaching for 3 years full time, so I had like a little retirement with them. I also had my thrift savings plan with the post office, so I had I took loans out from that. And and bills were still piling up, expenses were still piling up. I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna. So this is like right before I sold my house, and this is like just a testament to like Lewis and Brittany because they like when I had run out of money right before I sold my house, they kind of started covering everything, and I was like, so I'm telling you, they're remarkable people. They're remarkable people.
Literally, the definition of how teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah.
And that's important. That's a very important point. Like when you're going into business with these people, like if this goes left, like how are we going to handle this? Do we actually have each other's backs? And I think just
exactly
that example that yes, you guys had each other's backs because lots of people are putting in their life savings into this. You
have to. Like, if you're not rich, you have to, or if you can't get investors, you have to.
Right.
There's gonna be so many points in your whoever's listening or whoever's going to listen to this, like in your journey where you're going to be like, is there more I'm going to have to give? And the answer is always yes.
The answer is always yes. It is. It's more than just this neat little package dispensary. I applied and like you said, you had to keep up with the bills. So were you in a position like many other dispensary owners where it's like you had the license, or no, you didn't have the license yet, but you had the location and you were paying on the location and all of that? So that's the position you were in, huh?
That was the second time that almost did me in. So I actually had an apartment too, and so I was paying my apartment rent and and the rent from the shop, well, for the shop, and I'm like, so I, just to make sure I had all my ducks in a row, I was able to make it all the way through my lease, peanut butter sandwiches and ramen noodles. But that was like, almost not making that was just having to live real, working all the time, like, working day and night, and then like this dementia you have from not being able to rest, and then this people 800 numbers calling you, and the thought of this stuff, all these financials weighing up on you, and the state taking their time, and there's nothing you can do. It's just like, what am I supposed to do? What do I do?
Right.
But the answers always keep going.
Always. And then right. So what was it like that day that you got that call, or you got that letter, that official letter, like, hey, you guys are good to go? What was that like? Describe that feeling that day.
It was very relieving, mostly because we had already started renovating the building. We had to, because if we would have waited, we wouldn't have been ready. So like we were renovating the building before we even got. They could have been like, nah, and we would have just renovated our landlord's building for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get a little bit into your philosophy. I know education and also approaching cannabis from a holistic perspective is important to you all down at ReLeaf Cannabis Dispensary. So can you explain a little bit about that and how you're incorporating wellness and just being overall holistic into your actual philosophy?
One big addition we just had, shout out to Veda Warrior. They have infused, because we want people to understand, like, we were told in the very beginning of this process, like, to like be around, be a parent, be like, in the community center. So we had cannabis education course at the community center. And we were going back to what we were told, like, we want people to, when they hear the word cannabis, to like see us and not think of like the boogeyman, or like, that's the word the guy used that told me, like, you want,
and in any way, you don't want to any of that stuff. Yeah.
So first and foremost, just having people like comfortable, and us, looking like we're just open arms, ready to educate you, ready to, because when people come into our shop, you really can feel like the love. I mean, it's really like, and you come in there. The philosophy is to, man, I get so excited talking about this, but I'm sorry. Really just to make sure you come in there, we address your needs, whether that be going back to like, if you don't want to smoke, we have infused olive oils from Veda Warrior. They're coconut oil that you can eat or put it in your hair or on your skin. They're butter. So cooking class coming up, by the way, for that. But yeah, I mean, it's just like different ways, different administrations, different just for different people, for different people's needs. And a lot of people come in, they're tired of taking Ambien for sleep and Lexapro, and they're ready to try something new. So
absolutely. And right. I'm sorry.
You go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. It was like breaking up for a second. We good though. We good. So yeah. So when they come, I love that you said, not everyone smokes, right? Because oftentimes when you go into a dispensary, and I feel like when you're working with like the inexperienced bud tenders, quote unquote, it's often like, oh, we just got this new gas in, like, I'm on you. And that's the vibe that a lot of these places have. But when you focus on wellness, I feel like you're going to ask the right questions, right? When someone comes in the door, because you're going to want to understand, where they're at as far as their education or their knowledge when it comes to cannabis. You're going to what they're comfortable and how they're comfortable in taking these particular products. And that's going to save you a whole lot of time right there, right? Whether you're gearing them towards, cannabis or edibles or maybe both. So that's super important that you do that.
Because you just have to be different. And I think being different means having those conversations, addressing people's needs, letting them know that you're really there for them and what they like, and then having the menu to back it up. Like some people don't want to get high. Some people, so like, for instance, like, shout out to Groon. they make pearls that are high in CBN and low in THC for the people who don't want to be blasted but still want to get that deep sleep. Just things like that, you know.
Right. Exactly. Definitely being knowledgeable, number one. I love how you smooth that answer. Like, it was no trash talking, but be different, y'all. Just be different.
Yeah. and you got to really, you got, first of all, you got to really believe what you're doing. I be telling people all the time, I don't know if this makes me like a phony, but I didn't even smoke consistently until we got into this process of opening this business. Like we were taking classes. We had to take classes at Stockton.
Did you say it makes you a phony?
I said, I don't know if it does, you know, because everybody coming to shop, they be like, yeah, I've been smoking since like the 70s. So, you know, I know all this in California red. I'm like, look, man.
No, you know what?
I've been smoking that long, but
listen,
you know what I mean?
There's people who have been smoking longer than I have, and they don't know shit about what they're smoking. You know,
oh yeah, absolutely not.
Time is nothing. It's irrelevant. What matters is what knowledge have you accumulated about this plant. That's what I feel helps you hold your seniority in the cannabis space.
Oh, right. That's valid. That's valid.
You cool. But yeah, no, wonderful things, making sure you're educating the public. So tell us about some of the, you know, community engagement or activities you have going on this year.
We just had our first Pay and Puff. This is just really more for like, you know, getting people to understand that like cannabis really can, like, because people really still have the stigma that like, you know, you smoke and you're lazy, all you do is lay around, and you'd be surprised. I'm surprised every day at people who still think that. So, you know, people can come to these events. They can, first of all, when you get to know somebody, you get to understand them more, and you get to understand, you know, I think that's what cannabis really does for people. Like, it kind of makes you, well, at least for me personally, I'm able to, number one, express myself. I feel like I really listen to people because I'm typically like an airhead. Like I'm really like I live with my aunt now because I sold my house, and she always calls me tastefully detached. I haven't quite figured out what that means yet, but I mean, I think it makes sense though, because I do really be in my own bubble a lot. So yeah.
I like to also call it like, it's sometimes you have to be tastefully detached. I like that term.
You got a mic.
It's energetic detachment sometimes as well, right? Like you have to have your own level of cushion happening between you and other folk. That's what allows us to navigate.
Yeah, so I was just blessed to like naturally have that. So I really be like, you can have like people 10-man rumble, and I'll be professional and minding my business.
Right. Naturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you said you just recently really started consuming cannabis, yes? And
consistently, yeah.
And how do you prefer to consume it, might I ask?
Smoking. And you know, this is crazy too, because having to do research about everything. Obviously, like, to be honest, I think that most people who smoke have that thought in the back of their head, like, man, I might be destroying my body. So just like having the knowledge to counteract that, or the knowledge of things that are being made now, like the volcano. We just got volcanoes at the shop. You know, they're like those desktop vaporizers. Well, we have the handheld ones too. And this joint is literally just like a air pump, a heating coil, and a nozzle. And what it does is you can set the temperature to like 180 degrees Celsius, like something like real hot, and it'll just vaporize the cannabis just like that, and then suck air in from the room and blow it up into like this balloon, or you can get like a little hookah mouthpiece. It's like a real clean smoke. But even people hearing about stuff like it's a dry herb vape. So people hearing stuff about like that, like, just, you know, it's it helps you to feel, to be honest, less guilty, because you know you want to smoke. But I also like edibles. I mean, I play a lot of basketball, so the topicals, you know, if you get like sore knees or ankles from jumping and running a lot, I mean, you really can't. I mean, I've tried so many different things just so I'm able to talk about it firsthand. So I mean, but smoking feels like the most, like, I'm a very interpersonal guy. I like doing stuff socially. So, you know, passing the joint and having a deep conversation, nothing like it.
For sure. And speaking of the topicals and sports and things like that, you're coaching, right?
Yes. Well, the season's over right now. The kids are AAU. I got to drop in on them. Sorry, I ain't been in. If y'all hear this.
Okay, I didn't know how young they were. I was going
to. They're high school. They're high school.
If you recommended CBD products, but I guess that's for the parents.
Oh yeah. Never. I don't mix the worlds. Even though I know what I know, but I don't mix the worlds, because just to not, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers. So.
Of course.
Yeah. I wouldn't even wear my hoodie at the school or like to practice or anything.
But maybe in the future, I think we can all benefit from classes teaching children about cannabis from through our lens. I do think that's something that should happen, especially since we're dealing with a lot of places legalizing and children getting into things. So I think it's important for them to know about it safety wise. And then also, it's still interesting to me when I see parents who are out the closet with their, their friends and family with cannabis. But when it comes to explaining it to their children, they're not certain how to do that. So
exactly.
I like a mommy and me class with cannabis would be like beautiful to have as a help.
That would be fire. I might gotta steal that from you.
You can, please. I'm all with the blueprints, please. But no, it sounds like the dispensary is a vibe. Me and my partner are definitely going to have to come out there.
For sure.
As we do our Philly event in June, actually. So I was hoping to actually hit up a couple of locations in South Jersey as we make our way back and forth. So definitely, we're going to have to talk more about that. That's coming
Absolutely.
through. But okay, cool. So we talked a little bit about your philosophy, a little bit about how you want to incorporate education into your setup and what you're doing. So let me ask you this. How would you describe the relationship between cannabis and community in your own words?
Correlational, interdependent. Not interdependent, but I mean just synergistic.
Absolutely. They're good words.
Catalyst.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm not gonna get too deep into like life philosophy or nothing like that, but
with it.
I think there are people who benefit from other people's lives being hard. And I think that when you have for instance, a smoke session with a bunch of people who like are just down on life, it just kind of helps you open up a little bit. And you can like just from firsthand experience, you can just see other people going through the same thing, and it just helps you build that sense of that bond, that sense of, oh yeah, I understand what you're going through because I too am going through that. I think cannabis just sparks conversations like that off rip. People you might not even like at the pain puff, like people were coming in different friend groups and everybody was just talking. You know what I mean? Like what other function you go to where everybody's talking to everybody? You know what I mean? It's not I can't quite explain it, but I don't want to. I'm biased too, but that's just how I feel.
No, that's not biased at all. Like that's just what's real. It really is a gateway to so many things. And for me personally, and you got into this a little bit earlier, and I'm going to follow with a question. But for me personally, it helped me deal with my social anxiety, right? Which was blocking so many other things in life. It was blocking me from making friends. It was blocking me from having different experiences. So for me, originally during the Reagan era, they call it the gateway drug. It was a gateway plant for me, absolutely, but for all the right reasons and in all the right ways. So for you personally, like what does this plant represent and what does it bring to your life?
Confidence. I would say confidence for sure. Like even like the way I talk, I smile way too much. I'm not gonna say smile too much, but I smile a lot when I talk, which makes me like not open my mouth all the way. And I also think real fast too. So I'll be trying to verbalize 1 and 2. I'll be thinking about 8 and 9. So like that kind of messes me up. But I really am able to slow down. And because I'm able to slow down, I just feel like I can, express myself, you know what I mean? Yeah. Without worrying about how stupid I look because I'm stuttering or like, just even that's only just one step too. But that's just, yeah. That's the first thing I thought of when you asked me that.
I actually love that. And you even saying that, it reminds me of my son. Again, I feel like social anxiety is something we passed down. It was genetic or something. He dealt with that as well. He is open about it. But him, using cannabis intentionally. You know, he tried it on his own with his friends, and that's that. If they weren't intentionally using it. But once we started having these conversations, you know, how does this affect you? Does it make you more social? Does it make you less social? You know, getting him to ask and be introspective about how this plant is affecting him, I would say, you know, we started to notice a boost in his confidence. And a lot of people like to think, and it's funny because my two sons have two differing perspectives. Even though I'm a cannabis advocate, you know, children will be children, no matter, you know, they got to learn on their own. But one of them is strongly against using something to bring out a characteristic, or, you know, to have to depend on a plant in order to, you know, navigate certain crises or situations or stress. You know, he's very much so, I'm going to figure out how to do this on my own without the assistance of anything, because I don't want to have to depend on anything. Whereas my other son is a little bit more experimental, and which is why we're having, you know, a lot more of these cannabis conversations. So I say that to say that, you know, there are very differing perspectives on, you know, when and how and why this plant should be used. But what matters is no one else's opinion. What matters is your own, and you know, what you feel is right, and when you feel it, you're ready to use this in a certain way, with intentionality. That's the word. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that goes to that reminded me what you just said of like just like basketball. I mean, lessons learned on the basketball court. It's always bigger than that. Like what you just said applies to anything.
Yes.
With anything you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the beauty in it, right?
Also, shouts to you for being a mom that like her sons can talk to her like that. So
I try. I was a young mom, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but like very free flowing, because I just being, you know, in my youth myself way back when. And then also
I'm crying.
You know, I used to work with children every day, and it feels good to know that your child doesn't have to hide any part of themselves from you. You know, I would never want my kid to feel like there was something they couldn't talk to me about. So I joke with my friends and my partner, you know, they're like, whoa, like they will tell you anything. And I'm like, literally anything. Sometimes it's TMI, but I try not to react, because again, I don't want them to think they can't be open with me. You know?
Right.
So it's fun. It's all fun when they hit their late teens to 20s, y'all. But yes, so we want to know, where can they find the dispensary? What's the location? You know, what's a good day to come down? Say what's up.
1024 South Black Horse Pike, Williamstown, New Jersey, 08094. Right past the Geets. That's everybody knows the run if you're around. Come any day. Come any day.
7 days a week.
I'm sorry?
7 days a week?
Yes, ma'am. 10 to 8, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We do have pop-ups coming up. Let me read the calendar off, if you don't mind, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shameless plugs. So we have OG's Edibles pop-up on April 9th. That's from 4 to 6. We have April 10th, which is Lewis's birthday. That might be a good day to pull up, because we have Garden Greens pop up from 2 to 4, and then a Fernway pop up from 4 to 6. That's definitely a fire day to pull up if y'all want to. We got a Happy Farmer pop up April 11th from 4 to 6. We got a Cure Leaf pop up April 12th from 3 to 5. We got a lot of stuff coming because it's 420, so you know.
Of course.
Oh, the Veda Warrior pop up is April 17th. Now that might either be that could possibly be a yoga class or a cooking class. So keep in touch with that one, because they're trying to do some. They're trying to do. I'm sorry.
Can we access your calendar online?
I'm sure I can share this. I'm sure I can share this.
Okay.
Yeah, I can share this. I should be able to share this. I have never done that before, to be honest, but I'll find out. I'm ever learning. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna work something out.
Absolutely. There's a whole bunch more. I mean, I don't know if you want me to go through all of them.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I mean, especially because 420 is coming up. April 19th, we're probably gonna do something like big, like a little, have some vendors out, have some food and music playing and stuff. Just because 420 is Easter Sunday, and we're not sure how people are gonna be, you know, So with, I think 4/19 it being a Saturday, I think that's pretty safe to do like the celebration. We'll still be open 4/20 as well. But I think it was easier to get people too for 4/19, like, because I guess some people are real serious about the religion. So
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, like you said, that was definitely playing it safe. Good job with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We don't put God. No.
I'm sure people who would have to hate to choose, you know what I'm saying? No, but thank you for sharing all the events. We're definitely going to be looking out for those and try to make some when we're out in Jersey, like I said. This has been an absolute pleasure learning about you, learning about the dispensary. Y'all, please, once again, thank you, Xavier Joyner from ReLeaf Cannabis Dispensary. Go check it out in Jersey. We look forward to, seeing what amazing things are happening with you. And then for all of you watching, make sure that no matter where you're watching it, also subscribe elsewhere. So if you're watching this on Spotify or listening on Spotify, you can watch on Spotify now too. But if you're listening, make sure you go over to YouTube, subscribe. We have some amazing content and videos from the various businesses, partners, wonderful entrepreneurs such as yourself. You guys go over there, you'll get lots of professional tips for running businesses. I know you guys learned a lot today just from Xavier. And then one of the things we definitely focus on is the inspirational side of it, right? Like, this is how we do it, but we also want to encourage you to also, find your thing and find ways to execute your dreams as well. So thank you so much for joining us for the Exhale Pro.
Thanks for having me. You know what's crazy too, real quick?
Uh-huh.
We have inhale, exhale in the front of that's kind of like one of our, like, I want to say mantra, but that's one of our, like, little trademark, not trademark either, because we can't trademark anything, but our little Easter eggs.
It really is a mantra by itself.
Yeah. I like to write a little bit. So every time I write something, at the very end of it, I write exhale because I can breathe afterwards.
Oh wow, I like that. I definitely like that. And that was the concept behind exhale. It's like to be able to just breathe, just let go, let some things out. And so
exactly.
Hell, you make sure you come out. So we have Philly, June 1st. We have New York, June 28th.
June 1st.
We're in Jersey, but still come out. We're going to show you some love.
Yeah, wait, June 1st. I'm sorry.
I'll send you the details in an email. Don't worry about it. I'll send
it. Yeah, I was about to put you in the calendar right now because if I don't do it right away, I'll be forgetting.
Yeah, June 28th. First. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We have an outdoor garden party. We invite educators, legislators, BIPOC wellness providers, as well as different cannabis-based businesses in the community to come out and just have a good time, be able to interact with the local community, do some shopping. We have a DJ, a Fuse brunch. It's a really good time.
Yeah, that sounds fire.
Yeah, so you are welcome to come out. All y'all are welcome to come out. Go to xlsocial.com. You guys can access those tickets right there. And use code XL2025. You get $5 off. All right?
Oh, all right. Yeah. That's much.
You don't got to write the code down. You just come, okay? I'll put you on the list. Don't worry about it, Xavier.
You make me feel a little bit important. Like, no,
absolutely. But no, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for, again, allowing us to help tell your story. Shout out to V. I always got to give a shout out to V, the traveling cannabis.
Dope
people, always keeping me in the loop, always bringing in other BIPOC, Latina business owners, contractors into everything that she does. And I absolutely love it. So just keep that ecosystem flowing, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Xavier. I appreciate you. And y'all take care.
You too. Thank you so much.